Hello, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Sat Sri Akal, and welcome on your journey to excellence. This is your facilitator on your journey to excellence with another insightful video on your adventures to excel. What is there in this video for you is we are touching upon, all of us would have faced problems or faced situations where we have huge data in our Excel sheets, maybe 50,000 rows, 20,000 rows, 5,000 rows, and we want to filter the information based on that. So today what we are touching upon is working with your large data and filtering that data. So what we are going to look at is we are going to understand basics of Excel filters, some simple filtering techniques. We will look at how to filter your data based on values, text and dates. Watch till the end and you will also see certain things which we might have not observed or we might not have used a very advanced filter feature. Excel has a very powerful advanced filter feature where we can filter data based on our own criterias and pull that data into a different sheets. And towards the end, when you watch the video till the end, you will also see certain time saving tips and tricks on how to make this advanced filter a much more dynamic thing. So let's move on with that. So what we have here is I have a Excel sheet called as sales where I have almost 51,000 rows. So if I just show you this, so if I go to, so I have somewhere around 51,291 rows. That means there are 51,000 orders which we have, and every order has an order date, the date of shipping, the aging, the shipping mode, the product category and other details which are there like costs, profits. Money is important, the name of the customer, the segment of the customer, the city, region and all those things. So let's talk about certain basic things. Now if we want to filter our data, let's say we want to find out only or just get a snapshot of the data which is there for, let's say, car and bike tires, what I am showing you here. So what we do, most of us would be using this. So we can go to our data tab or we can be on our home tab and click on sort and filter and filter. So we get this auto filter buttons, we get the auto filter tool on top on the first row, that is our heading row. Here now we can do anything whatever we want. Let's say if I want to have only the products which fall under the product which are, let's say, we don't want to see. Now when you drop this down, you can see all the products which are there, but you want to see only, let's say, bike tires. So we click on bike tires and click on OK, and we can limitize our data only to bike tires. So this way we have been doing, like under bike tires we want to see, let's say, the shipping mode as it's only first class. Let's say we want to see the aging has been, let's say, 8. So we get that particular information. So within product we have further filtered the data as per aging. Now this can go up to any level we can filter. Now this is very simple filter. This is a very simple filter what we have been using over the time. Now let us look at some other aspects of this filtering. Let's say under the aging we don't want anything which is available here, but we want a specific thing. Let's say we want to see any aging which is greater than 8. One option is you select only 8, 9 and 10 and leave the others. Other option is when we drop down the aging part, in aging we have number filters, and in number filters we choose the option greater than, and we choose greater than 8 and we click on OK. So we'll get only those values of aging for the bike tires which are greater than 8. This is a simple number filtering. You can use other options whereby you can say equal to, does not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, so whatever. Another interesting thing is above average or below average. So what you can also do is, let's say within aging, we want to see the sales which are below average. Oh, this is a problem. Like, now what average has your Excel taken? Excel has taken the average of the complete data. So let's just remove all these filters and then we will work on and see the average. I will remove the sales filter also. So let's see, let us select all the records and see what is our average. Our average is 156, that is the average of the sales is 156. So if we want to see, for example, any value which is above the average for sales, so we can click on sales, number filter, and we say above average. So we have all the sale values for all these products which are above 156. Within this, if we just select, let's say, I will show you something related to text filter. Now this is, so many values are there. Under the text filter, we have an option where we can also say contains, now equals to, so you can specify equal to value where you'll have to have an exact thing, does not equal to, begins with, you can specify the name of the product if it begins with a particular character, if it ends with a particular character, or contains. So let us say, we say contains and we say car and we click on OK. So all those products which are above, where the sales is above the average and the product name has something with cars, comes here. So we have filtered our data based on that. Similarly, we can also filter based on dates. Dates filter, we have so many. Now if you see in 2022, we can select the months because it is in the date format, or we can say which is equal to date filter, and in date filter we say before, and we can say, let's say I have data in August, so I will say, let's say 31st July 2022. So all the order dates before 31st July 2022 for any product which has a car in it, and all the sales value which are above the average sales. So this way we have filtered, we have seen some simple filtering techniques, we have seen filtering by values, text and dates. Let's look at, as I said, that go through the video towards till the end and you will see certain other things. Now Excel also gives you a very interesting feature, that is advanced filter. So for that, first I will remove all my filters which are already there. I will clear my filters from all the columns, so that, and I had it on sales also, I'll remove it. So what we have is, we have all the data which is there. What we can also do is, we can remove this auto filter from here, and we will look at how to bring this data to a different sheet, our filtered data to some other sheet. So what I have done is, I have created a criteria sheet. In the criteria sheet, I have created an area where I say, okay, I want to, for example, 3 columns: the product category, the product and the region. It can be the price column, it can be any other column which is there, sales column, profit column. Only thing what we have to remember is the column headings in your sheet, what we have created just now, that is a criteria sheet, should be the same as in your original sales sheet which is there. Here what I will do is, I have created these, I have just given the names, and for auto accessories, body covers and product and EMA, that is the region, I have created drop down list. If you want to understand drop down lists more, please refer to my earlier video on creating drop down lists, and you will see how we can do data validation and create drop down lists so that we get only the products what we want to use. So I have auto accessories, electronics, home furniture and fashion, I have car body covers, and I have EMEA, that is the region. So I have created these as lists. What I have also done is I have given a name for convenience purposes, named this area as a criteria. So I will just click on it and you can see that I have that highlighted thing, that is the name of this range is criteria. Why I have done this, it is for convenience purposes. You can still use the reference by highlighting this area, that would not cause a problem. What I need to do now is I will click on a blank area in this sheet. So I want the data here and I have my criteria on top, and what I do here is I go to the data tab. Advanced filter can be accessed only from the data tab, so you go to data and you go to advanced. Now when we go to advanced, there is a dialog box which appears that says filter the list in place, copy to another location. Always recommended to copy the information to another location, because if you filter the data in the place, that is filter the list in place, it would be as good as deleting the data which does not match your criteria. First option is the list range. For the list also I have created the list, so I'll just show you that I have named this area as my sales area. So I go to formulas and I'll show you the name manager. For name ranges, again in my earlier videos I have created a video on, I have uploaded a video on naming ranges, so that you can refer that and see how we name the ranges. So I have named this area as sales data. So what I will do is, in my criteria sheet where I want the output, I will go to my data tab, click on advanced, copy to another location. List range is my sales data. If I don't remember the name, I can always go back to formulas, use in formulas, under the name ranges tab, and you have the sales data. Criteria range also, as we have given a name, or you can also select this area, that doesn't make a difference. It has automatically called it as criteria. I will use criteria, and copy to, I will select the cell. We have an option where we can only extract the data for unique records, but if we want all the records, that is the most common thing what we do. So we can ignore this and we click on OK. So we get all the data which matches our criteria, that is auto and accessories, car body covers and EMEA region. And what has happened is it has brought in all the columns for the data matching these three criterias. Only thing here is, in case if we change the criteria here, we will not be able to see the change in our output. So watch the video towards the end. Towards the end I will show you how you can make it dynamic, so that you don't have to again and again delete the output area and go through it. The next thing is, we did not want to see all the columns. Let's say for this criteria of products, we just wanted to see order ID, order date, ship date, sales, quantity, discount, profit and shipping cost. We did not want to see all the columns of this data. So what I will do is, in this sheet itself I will first delete, and I will show you a method where you can extract this data to another sheet besides this sheet. That is, you can go to another sheet and then do the reverse way. So I am in my criteria sheet itself. And this time what I am going to do is I am going to again go to the data tab, advanced filters, list range is again my sales data, criteria range, I will just delete whatever is coming by default. I will just go to my formulas and use my criteria. And copy to, what I will do is I will select these columns which I want and I click on OK. So what do we get? For the data from the sales sheet which matches auto and accessories, tires, region as EMEA, we get only the order ID, order date, ship date, sales quantity and quantity discount, all the relevant columns what we were looking for. This is one way of doing it. Let's say you don't want to see this data here. You want to extract it in some separate file, because sometimes we might want to put the criteria only somewhere in the sales sheet and then do it. But what we will do is I will show you another method here where you can create a completely new sheet with the same sales data, with the criterias and everything. So what we will do here is I will create a completely new sheet. I have named it as auto output sheet 1, and I go to my data tab, go to advanced and copy to another location. List range is my sales data again. Criteria range is my criteria what I have given. And copy to, I select the cell and we get all the data which is matching, but this time the data has come to another sheet. So you can name this sheet as per your requirement. We can do the similar steps with specific columns. So what we do here is I will go to my criteria sheet, I will copy these column headings which I want, go to output sheet, paste them here because the column headings need to be the same, and then I will again go to my data, go to advanced filter, copy to another location. List range, I will use my sales data. Criteria range is my criteria range 1, and copy to is I will select these column headings and click on OK. So we get this. So we get only the relevant columns. Now why I am doing it, if you have observed, this I have done the reverse way. That is, I have gone to a blank sheet. There I have done it, because if you create, there I have started the auto filter, advanced filter feature. But if you start the auto advanced filter feature in the sheet where you have the criteria and then you say that no, I want the output in another sheet, Excel will not accept it. Like I will show you this. For example, this is the criteria sheet what we had created. Here I am currently in the criteria sheet. I go to the data tab, go to the advanced filter, copy to another location. List range is my sales data. Criteria range is my criteria range 1, and copy to, if we give another sheet here, the moment we do this, it says you can only copy filter to the active sheet. So our active sheet was the criteria sheet. So if you want to do it in a new sheet, start the auto filter in a new sheet. That is, use the auto filter feature from the new sheet. This is what we have done, is we have created an auto filter and use the auto filter feature. I will just delete the data what is there, and I want to show you something which, as we had seen, that auto filter is not dynamic. That is, if you change your criteria, here, your output does not change. So just for understanding purposes, I am doing it in the same sheet. I don't want to do it somewhere else. I will do it in the same sheet. It can be repeated for other sheets as well. That's not a problem. So what I will do is, there is a thing what Excel has. All of us are impressed by it, or all of us want to talk about it, is macros. I will have a comprehensive, or not a comprehensive, because that would need VBA, so there would be a separate series on macros with VBA programming. But here I am going to tell you about a basic thing about macro. Macro is something which is used in Excel. In fact, Word, PowerPoint, everywhere we have macros. Macros is used for the purpose of repeating your tasks. If you have certain things which you want to repeat again and again, you don't have to do them again and again. You can just create a macro. It gets recorded as your, okay, most of you would be young people, might not have seen audio cassettes. If you have seen audio cassettes, please type yes in your comment box. Those who have seen DVDs and CDs as well, please type, because nowadays we have generation X, which is talking about only online music and USB music and things like that. But here macro records everything like an audio cassette. So whatever you do in a macro gets recorded, and you can run it again and again based on whatever you want. So let's see how do we do that with this. So first of all, we need to have a developer tab open, which can be done using the file options in Excel, and we can go to your customize ribbon, and from there we can enable our developer tab. Once the developer tab is enabled, in the developer tab you can see there is something called as Visual Basic, Macros, and Record a Macro. So we will record a new macro here, macros. And for what we have done is, we have enabled a developer tab and we have the record macro button here. So whatever steps we were doing in filtering the data, what we will do is, we will record those steps inside a macro and rerun that macro and see how we can make our advanced filters dynamic. So what we are going to do is, first of all, we will start the process of recording a macro. So we click on record macro in the developer tab, we go to record macro, and we need to give a name here. So I will give a name. Let's call this as dynamic filter, and we need to give a shortcut key. Even if we don't give a shortcut key, it's okay. We will have to again and again come back to developer tab, macros, and run the macro. I'll show you both the methods of running this macro. So we need to give a shortcut key, so I'm giving a capital A. So our shortcut key to run this macro becomes Control plus Shift plus A, and we have an option where it says store macro in this workbook or personal macro workbook. It's always advisable to keep it in the current workbook. The reason is macros cause a security concern. So if you make it as a part of personal macro workbook, then your default template of Excel, it gets added there, and then it becomes a little bit of a concern. So but we'll keep it for the time being, we'll keep it this workbook, and we click on OK. Your macro has started recording. So you see your macro button, which was start recording, has now changed to stop recording. We will follow the same process what we were following for filtering the data. So we'll go to our data tab, we'll go to advanced filters, copy to another location, and our list range what we have is we will choose the sales data. What is there? I have already given it a name, so I will give sales data. My criteria range is, I have created the criteria range. I will use criteria, that is the range which is from A1 to C2 as we have been using, and our output, what we want, copy to, what we will do is we will select the columns. Now here you will have to select the number of columns what you want. So we will select all the columns here because we want the data. So I have copied the headings which were there. So I have selected all the headings. If you select only one column, then only one column will get there. So we click on OK here. So we get the data here, and we go to our developer tab and we stop recording. So now the macro is ready. So the moment we change so currently what we are seeing in our output data is car seat covers, which is there, which is the product is car seat covers and the product are car seat covers. If we change this to, let's say, car mat, but the data has still not got updated. So what we need to do is we can press Ctrl Shift A, and you will see that the data which was filtered has automatically changed to car mat. We change it to, let's say, auto accessories, we change it to electronics. In electronics, let's say we choose fans and we keep the region the same, and we press Ctrl Shift and A, and you will see under electronics and fan. This can also be done in another sheet. I will show you how to do it in another sheet only with specific columns which are there. So I have created another sheet, that is output sheet 2. I come there, I go to my sheet, and I will first keep the criteria the same, whatever is there, and I will come to output sheet and I will click Ctrl Shift and A. So now see the difference here, because we had selected the column in our macro which were all the columns, so the data which is coming for all the columns. What we can also do is we can have another macro which can just give us data for specific columns. Let's say I'll just delete this data, and what we will do is we will again go to developer tab, record a macro, and I will call it as dynamic filter 2, and we can give this, let's say, Control and Shift and D, for example. So this will become Control Shift D and OK. And what we do is we go to our data tab, advanced filters, advanced filter, copy to another location. List range is, we will take our good old friend, that is our sales data. We'll take our criteria range again as the name which I have already given, criteria range 1, and copy to, I will use, let's say, this area, and click on OK. So we get the data for the fans. We get, if we just want to match this data, so we can just match. We have the order ID OM202 227712, and if we see the earlier output, yes, so the same data has come here. Now if we change this from fans to, let's say, let's say iron, and now I want to run the first macro on this sheet. So I go to developer tab, I go to macros, dynamic filter, and run. So when we run, we get all the iron items here, and when we go to output sheet, we still don't get this because we have not run the second macro. So we go to macros and we say we would want to run the second macro. So we get the data. So we have 7569 order ID, and if we go to our original sheet, 7569. So I am sure that this would have made some difference in your working, will make some difference in your working with filtering of data, and you would have got new insights on how to filter data with some new techniques on how to filter with criterias based on numbers, based on ranges which is there, advanced filters, how to get extract data into another sheet, and advanced filters also where we have seen that we can make them dynamic, because as a default they are not dynamic, so you have to run them again and again. So this would add, for sure, this would add value to your working with filters. Thank you for watching the video. If you have liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get updates on the upcoming videos on more productivity enhancement tips on Excel. Thank you for the time being, and see you in the next video. Thank you and have a nice time.